Hello, everyone. Welcome to St. Thomas University here in Miami Gardens. I am here in the Fernandez Family Center. My name is Fernando Cornell, and I am joined by the man who's going to lead the men's lacrosse team in the spring of 2027, Coach Matt Blamey. Coach, pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Welcome to St. Thomas. And for our audience, how would you describe your coaching style in 3 words?
3 words. Okay, I'd say that the first word would be evolving. I think things change on a day-to-day basis. I've always said that, if I think I know everything about coaching, then it's time to hang up the whistle. I think you have to evolve your coaching style based on the players you have, evolve your strategy based on what opponents are doing, and continue to learn every day. I'd say the second word is probably collaboration. I'm very much a collaborative coach with my staff and my players. I think that getting buy-in is very important. If it's kind of a my way or the highway thing, it doesn't always resonate with athletes today. So I think working together with your team and with your staff is what makes teams successful. And I'd say the third word's probably strategic. I'm a big planner. You could ask my wife. I think each day has a plan for practice. Each practice builds up to the plan for the week. Each week builds up to the month and into the season, and so on.
Excellent answer there. So what is one thing that players should expect from you when they step on the field?
Well, I'm excited for that first practice, but it's going to be competition. I've told our recruits already that you got to be ready to compete not only in drills but compete for your spot every day. Every position's up for grabs. As long as players are doing the 3 things that I tell them, they got to be at practice, they got to bust their butt when they're there, and they have to be performing well. But competition is going to be the theme of this team from day one.
So you've launched programs from all around the nation, from Virginia all the way to Arizona. What makes building this program here at STU special to you?
It's an exciting opportunity to be in South Florida, where the weather's beautiful, the beach is beautiful, but more importantly, I think that the culture I've already seen at the university with the sports programs is it's creating leaders for life, and the opportunity to do that from scratch. A culture that exists within the athletic department but doesn't yet exist with men's lacrosse is you can bring in guys who have that attitude right away. And I've been telling recruits already, you can go to a program that has a bunch of trophies in the trophy case, but we're looking for guys that want to be the first ones to put a trophy in the case.
Well said there. How has the school supported you in launching this program?
It's been phenomenal. This was kind of a dream. I researched the universities in the area and approached athletic director Bill Reichel and said, hey, I'm moving to Florida and would love the opportunity. And it had already been on the map for them. They'd already been exploring. And I met with him and with President Armstrong. And, it's just the support has been phenomenal from day one. If you look at the success of the programs already, swim and dive, football among the best in the country, softball, volleyball, all the programs are extremely successful here. And we hope that we can just maintain that success with men's lacrosse.
So what can an incoming student athlete expect from the facilities and the Bobcat culture here on campus?
Facilities are fantastic. We've got beautiful AutoNation field. That's the biggest scoreboard I've ever seen. It's like 3 stories high. Second turf field next to it. Beautiful weight facility next door. And this facility we're in right here that has all the offices and the gym. Really can't ask for more from a facilities perspective. And I just think that it goes hand in hand with the facilities we have for the academics and the brand new dorm that just came up. I think we're hitting our 7th straight year of record enrollment, and you can just see showing up on campus that all that's being reinvested into the university.
You're correct. SU is just getting bigger and bigger by the years. So what is your vision for this program in its first 3 years?
3 years, I like to take it year by year, but obviously we have a long-term plan. But I think the beauty with the support we have here and the types of recruits we're talking with, I think that from year one we're going to be very competitive. And you can't say that about a lot of leagues. The NAIA has got some really good teams, but it's a smaller league to compete with. And I think that if you bring in the right athletes who have that shared vision, then there's no reason. They say some programs take their lumps. I don't think we're going to have to take lumps year one.
Very high confidence there. So diving into your past, in Arizona, you led your team to a top 5 national ranking, and you also won yourself a Coach of the Year award. How has that journey brought you to build up your own culture?
Yeah, U of A was a good run. It was 8 years, and it's interesting. A university that size, it has a lot of challenges as far as all the other things there is to do on campus. There's lacrosse, there's obviously the academics, and there's a lot of other things that go on that athletes are interested in. And what we had is, we had that year when we hit the top 5, we had a group of guys. I go back to the collaboration and the buy-in. They were all bought in. I can't take credit for a lot of that. It was the players we had. You can only do what the horses will do. And we had some great horses. And, here it goes back to, again, I said culture. Here we can create that culture from scratch day one. And that's what we're looking to do.
How are your practices like? Describe them for me.
Sure. Again, we'll go back to strategic, right? We have an idea of what we want to accomplish each day, where our deficiencies might be or where we have to get better. But I think the theme of practice would be what is important. We don't have regimented water breaks. It's like you can only get water at this certain time. When you're between those lines, you're running. You're moving from drill to drill. It's all about quick pace. And again, we just want to do everything we can to make practice feel like a game. So when you're between those lines, you're never going to be walking on the field in a game. You're never going to be walking on the field in practice. So I would say intense practices.
Sounds pretty intense to me. So also, if you've coached on both coasts of the country, how have those regions shaped your style of play?
Well, I think you mentioned the coast. There's a ton of good players on the East Coast and the West Coast, and I don't think it's a secret anymore. I think you could throw a dart at a map of the United States. Some of the best players I've coached over recent years were from Indiana, Minnesota, Missouri. I think that the biggest thing is now you got to cast a wide net. Again, there's talented athletes everywhere. You have to find the ones with the right attitude that want to build something special.
Speaking on the recruits, what do you look for when you're recruiting a player, not just on the field, but also off of it?
First, we want good students, right? We don't want academics to be, something that they struggle with. So we look for good students who can get it done in the classroom, and that it's important to them. We're all here for the education. And two, I want guys that are selfless, guys that put the team first. Everyone wants to play, but let's say, maybe you're playing midfield and your best friend goes in over you. You better be cheering for him just as loud as he was cheering for you when you hit the field.
Very true. What is one moment in your coaching career that still gives you the goosebumps? You're sweating at night, you're twisting and turning. It's just an amazing feeling.
At University of Arizona, there's no love lost between the boys up north, Arizona State Sun Devils. And they had the best of us for a long time. 17 years, U of A hadn't beat them. And in 2024, they beat us regular season game. We had to face them first round of playoffs, and we ended up breaking that streak, beating them, and making it to the conference championship game. I'll never forget that.
That is definitely something that you can bring over here once we deal with our rivals as well in the Gardens.
For sure.
Well, you heard it here. Coach, we're pumped to have you for the upcoming years. We're going to see what you're going to do with the recruits. And Miami, we are bringing lacrosse to South Florida. And right before we shut it off here, we actually have a gift for you.
All right.
We have a nice old shirt so that you can hold that end of it. We'll hold it right there. We have the 305 lacrosse so that, as I said, Miami, we're bringing the heat. Okay? So enjoy that.
Thank you.
Make sure to wash it nice and nice so we can have you wear it for the first game maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. And that is Coach Matt Blamey here at the STU Sports Network.